One of the questions I get a lot is, what is a lead funnel? Of course, lead funnels made easy system doesn't make a whole lot of sense if you don't understand what a lead funnel is. And lead funnel actually has a lot of different names. You can call it a sales platform, or a sales funnel, or a lead platform. Basically, the definition of a lead funnel is one or more online tools used to attract customers and sell. That's a lead funnel. But before we go into what the pieces of a lead funnel are, let's talk about a short history of selling. Before 1800, for many, many millennia, the only way to sell was, of course, door to door. Basically because before the 1800s, we didn't really have mail per se. They had scrolls they could send by horseback, but I'm sure there wasn't a whole lot of marketing done that way. They didn't have telephones or TVs or the internet, so door to door was the only way. Now, people still use door to door once in a while. You'll hear that door on Saturday afternoon and think, that's probably a salesperson. Starting from the 1800s, we had something that used to be called mail, now we call snail mail. Back in the 1800s, it was delivered by the Pony Express, by horseback. Of course, recently we have stamps and envelopes and first-class mail and UPS and DHL and FedEx and all these different delivery agencies. Starting in the early 1900s, a new invention by Alexander Graham Bell, telemarketing. That's that ring on the phone on a Friday night during supper, you know, somebody's going to try to sell me something. Starting in the 1950s, another communication platform that was invented, became popular, was the television, and we saw the blossoming of, immediately, TV ads. The way it was done back then, of course, the host of the show actually would hold up the product and say, you know, I use Joy detergent, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Starting in the 1990s, we had a whole new invention come along called the internet. Back then, internet marketing was only toys for the big boys, with people with lots and lots of developers and thousands of dollars to spend on development costs. In the early 2000s, approximately 2005 to be exact, came a whole new way of using the internet. It introduced a lot of simpler to use, simpler, not simple, simpler to use tools that could be used to create these lead funnels. They're a lot easier to use than the early tools back in the 90s, but they still required a lot of effort. They were somewhat kludgy, and they didn't really produce a beautiful effect, a lot like the tools we have today in 2015, 10 years later. Now we have fantastic tools available to us. So, what are the pieces of a lead funnel? So we talked about that a lead funnel is basically one or more online tools used to attract customers or potential customers, lead them through an experience, and get them to buy a product. So the first part of that is attracting customers. That's called traffic generation. Traffic generation is basically trying to find traffic out there on the internet, people going to websites or etc., and trying to get them into your system. Now, before you can get them into your system, you have to attract their attention. Traffic generation is usually done through either Google AdWords, through Facebook marketing, LinkedIn marketing, or a number of different avenues. One of the greatest ways to do that is through joint ventures or affiliates. We'll talk about that a little bit later. The second part is getting them to opt into your system. That's a lead page. You have a lead page here with a place to put your email, click on the button, and it goes into number 3, your email list. Without an email list, you're not going to have much of a funnel. Communication in your email list is the hub, the heart and soul, the pivot point around which your funnel rotates. Once you have them into your email system, of course, you're going to start what? You're going to have a conversation. Remember we discussed that having an email list without a good conversation is kind of a moot point. You're not going to have them move along the system of trust or the levels of trust to the point where they're willing to buy from you. So you have to have a conversation. You have to have an email list. In order to get the email list, you have an opt-in, and in order to get the opt-in, you have to generate traffic. Now, you can also start your email list with friends and family, people you know. If you happen to be, have to be a member of several groups, who are interested in a particular thing. For example, if you belong to an equestrian club and you have a product on how to groom your horse at home and save hundreds of dollars in grooming fees, that would be a good place to start. You can start with your very own group Basically, you can have them opt into your email list. You can use Facebook marketing to grab traffic from other equestrian groups, go through the opt into your email list, and then start that conversation. Now, the conversation can be a series of emails using automation or campaigns in MailChimp. It can be videos, free videos that you have unlisted on YouTube or Vimeo or Wistia. That conversation can be one of the great ways to have a conversation is to use webinars. Webinars are fantastic because during webinars you can do polls. So that's the conversation. And once you've had the conversation and you sense that people are kind of ready to go, then you make the offer. The offer is basically you offering your valuable solution to your list's pain points. Say if, again, the equestrian club, I know nothing about horses, but I know how to pronounce the word equestrian. So if you have an equestrian email list and you have your great offer, which can save them hundreds of dollars on grooming costs and help them to get to know their horse better, you can make your valuable offer. And the valuable offer leads into your shopping cart. What's a shopping cart? PayPal is a shopping cart. There's dozens of shopping carts, but a shopping cart is basically an online tool that takes your customer's money, delivers it to you. They usually take a small fee. You don't have to worry about taking credit card numbers or any of that stuff. They take care of that for you. 7, you need distribution. You got to distribute your product to them somehow. But the next question immediately comes up in a lot of people's minds is, can I benefit? Can I benefit from having a lead funnel? Well, let's talk about that. Here's the different products out there, and a lot of people will be watching this will have a product or an idea or a story or something, some notion of, I've got some value I can add to the world. Maybe it's a physical product. Can you use an online system to ship a physical product? Yeah, you can. Amazon does it all the time. Amazon is the 800-pound gorilla that proves you can use online tools, and basically Amazon is a brief lead funnel system. They have a card. You come to them. They have the luxury of the fact that you come to them. But you come to them, you go through the system, you buy a product, and they send it to you. So yes, absolutely, you can use a physical product with a lead funnel. Digital products, definitely yes. How about a live event? Live event like a conference. Can you do a conference? Yeah, there's 2 ways of doing that. You can use the system to advertise and get sales for conference tickets, or you can actually hold a webinar event, and that's what's called a digital event. It's a webinar. It's a paid webinar. Yes, you can actually get people to pay to watch a webinar because you give them value. And another thing is coaching. You can use coaching, which is live, either live or one-on-one coaching over a digital media is actually a very profitable thing to do. If you've got a special skill that people need, you can get them to pay a lot of money for that, and it helps them. So just a quick review. So the first thing is you need to have traffic generation. You have to have traffic from somewhere, whether that be out on the people you've never met, out on the internet, or a group you belong to, families and friends, whatever. You can also add to this joint ventures or JVs or affiliates. So second, you're going to need an opt-in system, some way of getting this traffic into your email list or your system. The third thing you're going to need is email lists. You're going to need 1 or more lists to contain and house all the information, the data, the opt-ins you're going to have. So the next thing that leads to is conversation. That's where you converse using videos, emails, using webinars. You can use those things to converse with your list and bring them in, bring them along in the story and show them the value that your product is going to present for them. That leads to the offer. You make your offer. The whole point of this thing is making your offer. The offer is something that's really going to add value to your customers. Otherwise, they're not going to give you their money. That uses a shopping cart. And that, of course, leads to your distribution. This, by the way, those are wings on the box. It's a box with wings to get it distribution. Come on. So this is a review. This is what a lead funnel is. Thank you for listening. This is Jim Morey. Have a fantastic day.